In this video, we're going to learn how to use basic Excel tools in order to create a spec sheet for a fashion garment. So if you don't have Excel installed on your computer, you would have to go to Seneca My Apps, and then once you log into My Apps, you would have to go to the search bar, type in Excel, and then search for Excel. Once you find it, you would just have to click on Launch. So in my case, I will already open my Excel. And then here you can see that I can click on blank workbook, and that'll give me a new book that's empty with just one sheet. So here is my sheet number 1. The other thing I could do is I could go to File, Open, and then I could open a pre-existing workbook. So in this case, I want to show you just an example of a spec sheet. So I will select the file to open, and I will click on Open. So here's the example that I have. And at the bottom you can see there's different worksheets, and then I can click on one of the tabs and then browse through the worksheets I have. If I want to create a new one, I just click on the New Sheet button and it'll give me a new sheet. If I want to rename this new sheet, then I'll double click on its name, and here I can put the new name and let's say buttons. If I want to change the order of these worksheets, then I can just click and drag and rearrange the tabs to go in a different order. So you can keep adding and rearranging your worksheets, and you can have multiple ones. The other thing I can do is I can go to right click and then delete, and that's going to delete my currently selected worksheet. So this is how you can work with different worksheets. Let me just close the old one to avoid confusion. So that's my current file that I'm looking at, and this is called the workbook. So the workbook will have multiple worksheets. On top, you're going to see the title bar. So here you can see the name of this file is the TACPAC template. So the title bar shows you the name of your file. And then you've got multiple tabs at the bottom. The menu bar can be seen under the title bar. So the menu bar will have all the different functions such as data, review, page layout, insert, home, etc. And you can also see that if you click on each one, you're going to see a different toolbar for each one. So if I click on the home, then my toolbar here consists of cut, paste, format my text, align my paragraphs, insert and delete rows, auto sum, sort and filter. So it'll change depending on which menu item you click on. Next, we're going to look at how to save and open and undo. So to undo, you just have to go to Edit, Undo, and then you can undo 16 times. So Edit, Undo would be Command Z, and then you can do that up to 16 times. If you go to File, Save, Save As, Open, so that's very similar to Word. It works the same way. If you are going to type, then you just have to select your cell. So these are all different cells, and then whatever you type, let's say buttons, whatever I type, it'll also show up here in the formula bar. And then I can also type and retype there, or I can type and retype my content in the actual cell as well. So each cell will have a name so we can refer to it. So for example, this one is F12. So that means that it is found at the intersection of the column F and the row number 12. So for example, if I click on this one is G8, so it's found at the intersection of the column G and the row 8. And again, whatever you're typing will show up in the box, and it'll also show up in the formula bar. If you're entering mathematical equation, you may enter it here as well in this formula bar. If you're fixing spelling, it's sometimes easier to do it in the formula bar because it's easier to see. So this is the box on top where you can type as well. In order to zoom in and zoom out, you can click on the View tab to go to the View menu. And then here you can see you can use the drop-down menu here to zoom out and zoom in. So if I want to go to 50%, it'll zoom out. If I want to go to 200, it'll zoom in. So you can change it from there. Another place where you can change it is the bar at the bottom, where you can use the sliding bar to just click and drag in order to zoom in and zoom out. So that's fairly straightforward. Next, we're going to look at how you can format the text and the way your cell appears. So for example, if I just zoom in here, I can click on the Home tab, and then I can select this cell. I can put a fill in it. I can also change the color of my font, so that's very similar to Word. I can make it bold, italic, underlined, etc. So it's easy to format your text. You can also add borders. So I can select multiple cells. So I click and drag and I select multiple cells. I can format them all at the same time. Let's say I want to put blue inside. The other thing you can do also is add grid. So I'm going to select all borders. I could then also just put thick box border around the edges of my selection. So let's just do all borders. So now I can see I have borders here. In fact, let me just go back and select everything first. So I will click here on this corner box to select everything. And I'm just going to first make sure there's no borders anywhere, because I think I currently have them. So I'll just go to no borders everywhere so you can easier see what I'm doing. So I'm going to select these cells here. I will apply borders to them only. And then you can see this is the only area that I have borders applied to. If I select it again, I can then go and select thick box border. And then now I have an extra thick line going around. So if I want to again select everything, I click here. Then I can take borders off from all of it. So no border. Or I can select everything by clicking on this corner box and then go down and apply all borders. So you can select bottom border, top border, all around borders, outside borders only, thick box borders, and there's other ones such as double border, etc. So you just have to select one or more cells, and then you can apply any border you want. The same as in Word. You can again select the boxes, change the font size. You can also change to align left, center, align right. So a lot of these functions are pretty much the same as in Word, except here you can format the way your cells look in terms of the borders and fills. The other thing you can do is you can insert and delete columns and rows as you wish. So next, we're going to look at how to delete and insert rows and columns. So for example, if I want to get rid of the tolerance column, which is I will click on the I, the whole column will highlight, and then in the Home tab, I'm going to go down to where it says Delete Cells. So here I can either select Delete Cells, or I can select Delete Sheet Column, and it'll just get rid of my column with the tolerances. So there we go, it's gone. I can also, for example, select chest. Let's say I don't want to have the chest measurement. Then I can just go to Delete Sheet Rows, and it'll get rid of the chest altogether. there. The other thing you can also do is insert. So let's say I want to have more sizes in between. Then I can select the column and go to Insert, Sheet Columns, and now I have another column inserted in between to the left. If I want to add another point of measure, I can click to select the entire row, and then I can go to Insert, Sheet Rows, and then I can add another point of measure here. So that's how you can add and delete. The other thing you can do is you can merge particular cells together, and you can unmerge them. So let's say I would like to merge these cells, because right now you can see they're all separate from each other. So if I want to clear contents, I can go to right click and then clear contents quickly. But if I want to merge them all together, then I will first have to highlight them all, and then I will go to Format Cells, Format Cells, and here I can do a whole bunch of things. I can format them as number, currency, date, percentage, fraction, whatever I want. For now, I'll just leave it as general. I can go to Alignment. So here I can select Merge Cells, and I can also select Wrap Text. If I select Wrap Text, then whatever I type in, it'll sort of wrap itself inside of this cell. I can also select left indentations, centered, justified. So I can select whichever one I want, and let's say for vertical alignment I want to align it on top. For horizontal alignment I want to have it centered. You can see here you can also change the text orientation. If you wanted it to be vertical, you can change that. If I click OK now, then it's going to merge and wrap. So now I just have one single cell. I can change the color, and whatever I type, it'll be wrapped inside. So I can keep going, and it'll add itself. If I run out of space, then what I have to do is select the bottom of this cell, so where it says 27, and click and drag to drag and add more space so that this text can be released. So if I don't have enough space, then you won't be able to see all of my text. So what I have to do is just drag the bottom of my cell or multiple cells in order to allow more space. So you can do that with cells that are merged, or you can do that with a single cell. So if I want to have more space here, I just simply click and drag at the bottom of number 4, and then my number 4 row will become wider. So whether you have a single line of text, or if you have merged your cells and you have multiple lines, in either case you can drag the edge of a column or a row in order to increase its size so that your text will fit. If I want to unmerge this back, I just have to select it, and then I go to right click Format Cells. So that's also where you can find Format Cells. And then you can go to Turn Off Merge Cells, and then you click OK. And now I have it unmerged. So now I can put borders to these individual cells. So for the assignment, it's going to be important for you to merge cells and to unmerge cells. So I'll just show you this one more time. So if I click on these 6 cells, I click and drag them, I can also very quickly go to the button that says Merge and Center, which you can see under the Home menu. So if I go Merge and Center, then it's just going to merge these cells and center my text. So that's a quick way of formatting something. You have probably noticed I can also go here and go to just merge cells or unmerge cells. So that can also be accessed from the home button as well. So merge cells, merge them together, and then unmerge cells as well. You can also see that if I want to wrap my text, I can also do that from here. So let's say I have a lot of text and it's not gonna fit, then it's gonna keep continuing over here. It keeps continuing and it spills to my next cell, so that's not what I want. So what I have to do is select this cell. I can go to click on wrap text, and then it'll wrap itself inside of my cell, and it'll also extend the size of the cell for me, so that way I don't have to drag the edge of the row number 5 in order to expand it. So these are really useful 2 buttons, and they're under the home. So wrap text and merge and center is very useful, but again, you can go to format cells, and that gives you additional options as well. Next, we're going to look at how you can export your technical drawing from Illustrator into a JPEG format, so that way you will be able to insert it into your Excel. So what you have to do first is make sure you turn off the visibility of your Judy, and also make sure that you turn off the visibility of your back view, because we're going to only do front view now, and then you can do the back view later. So I'll just make sure that the front view is all I have open in Illustrator. Then I'll go to File, Export, Export As. I'm going to select Desktop, and I will select JPEG format. So Biker Jacket, JPEG Desktop, and then I'll click on Export. Computer is going to ask me what resolution I want to have for this. So I'm just going to choose medium, 150. So that's good enough for Excel, and then I'm going to click on an OK button. Then on my desktop, I'm going to be able to see my Biker Jacket JPEG. So if you open it, it'll look like that. So now I can go back to my Excel spec sheet, and I'm going to insert it here where it says front. So I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to Insert, then I'm going to go down to where it says Picture from File, Desktop, select my Biker Jacket by clicking on it once, and then click on Insert. When it comes up, if it's too big, you can just click and drag while you have your Shift pressed, and then you can resize it to fit the box. And you would do the same thing for the back view. So you're going to do, again, Insert. You can go to Pictures, Picture from File. So that's just another way of doing it as well. We're going to have a look at the View tab. So if you click on the View menu, you're going to see different options. So the first one is normal, so that's what I'm seeing right now. The second one, if you click on, is the Page Break Preview. So here you can see what's actually going to be a part of your page. If you want to click and drag this blue bar, then that part will then not be printed. So I can say I'm going to click and drag this going up, and then this part is not going to be part of my page, and it's not going to be printed. So if I want to click and drag going down, then that's going to be included. The same thing here, if I click and drag, then I can add more information here, and that'll be included in my page as well. So personally, I like to work with the page in the page break preview mode, because then I can see exactly what's going to be printed. If you go to normal, you can work in the normal mode as well. It's up to you. But I like to work in the page break preview, so that I can make sure that I know what's actually going to be printed. The other thing you can use is the page layout. So if you click here, you can see your pages separately, and then also you can add the header here. So if I double click here, I can add my header, and then the header will appear on all of my pages. I can add a footer as well, so I can double click here and then add a footer. Next, I can also select a particular area that I want to print. So for example, if I add another sheet, I can have some text here, and let's say I want to select this portion, and then I can go to File, Print Area, Set Print Area. So in this worksheet, only this area will be printable. So in that case, if I go to Page Break Preview, then only the area that I have selected is now showing up as my printable area. So again, it's easy if you work in the Page Break Preview, because then you can see exactly what is going to get printed for. I'm going to give you a quick overview of how to set up your own original spec sheet for your own design. So you would just open a new file. So here is my worksheet. Then I'm going to select cells A to E, and I'm going to click on Merge and Center. Then I'm going to select cells F to K, and I'm going to click on Merge and Center. Then underneath, I'm going to select cells B all the way to E and merge and center. Then I will leave one box as is, and then I will merge the rest of them all the way up to K, like so. Merge and center. If I don't want to have it centered, I can align it later. So now, in order for me to see, it might actually be easier if I just put grid everywhere. So I'm going to go here and select all borders. And now I can start working on what text I need. So this one, as you can see in the template, is just called spec sheet. So I can just justify this and fill it with whatever color I want. Really, can be anything you want. This one here is going to be my brand. So brand, whatever your brand name is. So that's going to go over here, and I can align it this way. I'm just doing different colors so you can see easier. So this one, if you look at the template, is your style number. Again, I'm going to spread this out a little bit to have more room, and then here I'll put my style number. This box here is going to be my season. And then this I have merged in order to be able to then enter my information here. So basically, this is the setup that I suggest you follow to make it easier for you. And then refer to the template. So next it says description. So describe your garment, designer, sample size. So that'll be up to here. Then you're going to see there's a block that has the entire row merged. So what you do with that is you select this whole row. I'm going to merge and center. I'll put a different color so you can see easier. So this one, it'll say technical sketch, front and back. And then here, I can insert my front, back, and have a section for notes. So this you can even just do by eye. So I can just merge these cells and then have some room for front, back, and notes. So here, if I go to merge and center, I'll do that. Here I can go to merge and center approximately the same size. I'll do that. And then here I can go merge and center these ones. Merge and center, and then it'll be enough for me to insert. I may want to stretch this out to allow more space. And so now I can put here front, back, notes, and then I have to go and align my text to be on top and to be on the left side. And so now you can see this is going to be fairly straightforward. Once you're done, you can select everything and then go to File, print area, send print area, so that way when I go to my view, page break preview, I can then see what's going to get printed. So this dashed line means that this will be printed on the second page. It won't fit on my paper. So what I can do is I can just drag that over, and then now entire area will fit on my paper when I go to File, Print. So you can work in the page break preview if you want, and then you can easily see what's going on with your file, and then keep adding the information you need. And the suggested content is in the spec sheet JPEG template I gave you. So then you can see I have to include my fabric, my lining, the fabric I use for pocketing, so that's what pocketing means, the zipper, button, trim, fusing, and then in the template I gave you, it gives you some suggested wording that you should use. So for example, for fusing, it says indicate placement, like where do you want it in the cuff or the collar, etc. Then you indicate whether it's medium weight, lightweight, whether it's woven, knitted, non-woven, lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight, black or white, etc. So you can insert all the information, and then the suggested information or what you have to cover is indicated in the spec sheet template JPEG, but also you should review the PowerPoint I gave you about spec sheets and what information is required to enter into the spec sheet. So that way, when you're creating this spec sheet, you're also entering the correct information that you would need for your own design that you're inserting the technical here for. And that's it.